Hey guys, Ralph here. Welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness on this thrilling Thursday here in Connecticut. Life's good, man. Life is good. Beautiful day. I was out on my bike. Just absolutely lovely. So anyway, here I am. I pranked a little bit. Okay. You saw the thumbnail. Mark the man Zauss. Anyway, the man down in Disney World. I tell you what, guys. You don't have to love his jazz or anything like that, but his chops are the goods. The chops are absolutely the goods. And I'm going to try to analyze them a little bit and tell you what I think. Anyway, let me honk a little bit and we'll get to it. Anyway, a little bit different than my little arpeggiated little arpeggio. Anyway. 3-octave rip from low C to double high C. The reason I do that, and I'll get into it in a minute, is I'm going to leave a link down below of Mark Zauss doing exactly the same thing. Okay? With that said, never met the guy. Never heard him live. Okay? But using Disney World as his platform, there is tons of stuff on the internet about him. It's not necessarily his channel. It's just stuff about him and his serious chops. Now, again, I don't know that much about him. You go on his website and you read his bio. Okay? And it said that he came to trumpet at a very, very young age. His father played for him. His first album he ever listened to was Maine and Ferguson. You talk about influence. From there, he morphed into Charlie Parker, Coltrane, and all that sort of stuff. Okay? By the time he was 11 years old, he was playing professionally. I believe he was born and raised in Florida, so it was probably down there. Probably not Disney World yet, but he was playing down there. Guys, he had these chops from the get-go. He's not like me and you and the rest of us that just had to work and figure the whole thing out. He had it absolutely from the get-go. There is no doubt about it. Now, for the longest time, and he still is, he is on full-time staff at Disney World. And I'll get into that type of thing in a minute. But his main gig, believe it or not, is that of a psychotherapist. And you go on his website and all his academia, his records and everything are all in, psycho work, this social work, this type of thing. Okay? And he has books out on stage fright, the mind control of playing the trumpet, stuff like that. Okay? And I've never had one. I think I might get one. I bet they're very interesting. He comes off as a very nice, humble guy. And as I said, his chops are the goods. Now, what's he doing down in Disney World? Now, he also, I believe, his own big band. His main thrust is the Disney World. But he does have a front of big band where he does have some jazz ability. There's no question. And the hardcore jazz guys out there, it's not going to be in the class of, we talked about, Faddis, Sandoval, Morrison. Even though he has the chops to keep up with them, the actual jazz is more clinical runs. It's like me doing the Arbin. Okay? It's not this hardcore licks that these guys are doing. But he has absolutely the chops to keep up with those guys. See how hard it is to find a guy with both of them? It's very, very difficult. Okay? But anyway, what he is doing down in Disney World is basically drum corps. Now again, the one that I'm putting down here is not drum corps, but there's so much stuff. They call themselves Future Corps, and they dress up in all these theme suits and everything outside, and they just walk around Disney putting on shows. And it's a bugle corps. It's what it is. And he is phenomenal at it. I can honestly say, I think he's the best I've ever heard at it. The bugle corps stuff. There's no question. Drum and bugle corps is very, very hard to do. Very, very difficult. And all these great corps, you know, blue this and red that and jacket that and all that sort of stuff. And I don't follow it that much. But the little bit that I've seen, there's some good players there, but there's nothing with the chops that this guy has. Now, most of the guys that are with the corps are kids. College kids. He's not. He's not. I think he's close to 50. I'm not sure. But he's been doing it all this time. And I have to say, it's fabulous at it. Now, as I said, it's very, very difficult. Number one, you have to be doing a lot of marching while you're playing. Once you get used to it, but it's tough, man. Try it. Try it. One day, just walk around your studio, try playing Stars and Stripes Forever. It's very, very hard. Okay? To keep the chops set, keep the breathing, and all that is very, very difficult. He's fabulous at it. Now, him being, you know, the stud muffin for the show, he doesn't do as much marching as the other guys do. He sort of comes out, does stand still and does his high note thing, and everybody's doing their figures around him, for the most part. Okay? So it's that. But also, guys, I know that a handful of my high school kids, this is marching season, okay? And some of them are taking it on the chin. And the number one thing is, to me, is the acoustics. Your first inkling when you get out there, there's no reverberation, there's no echo back, there's no feedback whatsoever. Your tone just dissipates into the ether, for lack of a better term. And what do? You tell me. You're going to overblow. You're going to overblow. Now, he does not. If you hear him inside trying out a mouthpiece or something like that, and the same thing outside, he doesn't overblow. Now, maybe he's been doing it long enough that he is just so used to that acoustics that it doesn't bother him. But guys, that can be brutal. Combine that with walking around and the no acoustics just lends itself to harder, 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 and he stays away from that. Okay? Now, he does give lessons. He talks about Caruso a little bit. Guys, now, if you go on his bio, he doesn't name one teacher. I got Vacchiano Bars, all this sort of stuff. Not one teacher that he cites. His age limits, age is such that he probably never took a lesson with Caruso himself. I don't know, but I don't think he had. He never mentions Caruso, studying with Caruso in his bio. Caruso was long gone by the time. Anyway, with that said, he talks about Caruso, and I don't want to get into Caruso. You know I don't buy Caruso. But having not studied with him, I'm taking for granted, now I don't know him. He got a hold of the book and started doing some of the exercises. Guys, he did not develop those chops doing Caruso stuff. He was doing this long before Caruso. Now, as I said, notes do not develop the physiology. Now, if he likes these warm-ups to get him set for what he has to do, fine. But those warm-ups did not. Guys, Caruso's significant other, Lori Frink, who I subbed for a lot in New York, guys, could not touch what Zauss is doing. Guys, I'm telling you, he might use them as a tool in his toolbox, but those chops were there long before he ever started playing Caruso. Again, I don't want to get into Caruso. This is about Zauss. Now, if you look at the video, the clip I put you down below, he goes from the low C to the double C, and you can see he flinches. It's a very, very strained. Okay? Now, that's a tough little lick. There's no question. Maybe he wouldn't strain as much if he came from a high C, whatever. But you can see his whole body, and he looks like he lifts weights and stuff. His whole body squeezes, pressing the horn. For my money, he's working too hard. But, guys, the results are, and that's Caruso, the results are fantastic. Absolutely 100% fantastic. He's the goods. He's the goods. And if you see, he does some flexibility stuff. Wait a minute, what happened? Hang on. Are we still there? Okay. I'll edit it somehow if it isn't. But anyway, he does some flexibility stuff, and he does have some jazz technique where he can be very, very impressive fronting a band. Now, all you hardcore jazz guys out there, no, it's not Faddis, it's not Winton, it's not the jazz itself. But the chops, he can keep up with him. In the clip I go, yeah, he goes to a G above double C. Much more strained than I would like. As compared to that Rush on Ross that I did a while ago, I like that tone much better. It's clear. Anyway, that's that. Give me your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think about it. As I said, I don't know him. He seems like a very, very nice guy. And again, what I'm doing with analyzing the chops, nitpicking. Nitpicking, man, because his chops are the goods. All right? All right. Eat and drink fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Not the fake stuff, true power. Love you all.